ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಓಂ ಅಖಂಡಾನಂದ ಸಂಬೋಧಃ ಬಂಧನಾತ್ ಯಸ್ಯ ಜಾಯತೆ ಗೋವಿಂದಂ ತಮಹಂ ವಂದೇ ಚಿದಾನಂದ ತನುಂ ಗುರುಂ. So we are seeing the vijñānamayakośaḥ. Before entering that, we'll have to understand something very important. The whole schematology. What is the scheme which we are presenting here? See, why I have to say this is important. Listen to this carefully. We started with ignorance, ajnana. In ajnana, we explained two forms of ajnana, not two types of ajnana, two forms of ajnana. The same ajnana seen in different forms. Okay, like the same coin, you flip it on one side, it is head, you flip it on the other side, it is tails, right? Similarly, the same ajnana, the same ignorance is seen in two different forms. One is a maya, the other is avidya. When do you call it maya and when do you call it avidya? When it is a shuddha sattva, then we call it maya. When it is malina sattva, we call it avidya. Meaning, when it is pure sattva, we call it maya. When it is impure sattva, then we call it avidya, right? Now, this is important. From that pure sattva maya, when there is tamah predominant, from the pure sattva maya, when there is tamah guna predominant, then comes the tanmatra. Okay, from pure sattva, when there is tamoguna predominant, comes into existence the tanmatra. Tanmatra means only that. Only that means only those elements, purely, without any mixture of any other element. Unprocessed element we call it. Apanchikrita panchamahābhuta, right? Okay. So, that unprocessed elements. Now, from each of those unprocessed elements, when there is sattva-guna predominance, from its sattva-guna, let us say, from its sattva-guna, we have the sense organs of knowledge. When there is rajoguna, then we'll have sense organ of action. Okay. So the scheme is a ignorance, pure sattva ignorance. When it has a tamoguna predominance, we have the tanmatras. From the tanmatras sattvic aspect, we have the ether, etc., space, etc. Tanmatra. So from that tanmatra, tanmatra sattvic aspect, ether. From that tanmatras, akasha tanmatras sattvic aspect, we have the sense organ of knowledge. Like from ether, we have the sense organ of hearing, etc. Okay. So pure sattva, tamo predominant, sattva, 4 levels. Pure sattva maya, when it's from its tamo predominant, we have the tanmatras. From its sattva, we have the akasha, etc., ether, etc. From its sattva, we have the sense organ of hearing, etc. Okay. Now, that is the scheme of the creation. Now, this sense organ of hearing, etc., that is called a sense organ of knowledge. Right? And here we have antakarana. Individual elements from each of the individual elements, sattva predominance, we have the sense organ of knowledge. When there is collective sattva predominance from all these elements, when there is collective sattva predominance, then from that collective sattva predominance of all the elements, we have a antakarana. Okay. Antakarana, we loosely translate it as mind. But antakarana has 4 different characteristics. I am not classifying antakarana to be 4 types. I never taught you like that. Remember that. Antakarana is of not 4 types. Antakarana is classified according to its action into 4 names. It's defined as through 4 names. What does that really mean? I gave an example. The same person gains different name as father, son, brother, husband, etc. Different names, right? Now, how did it happen? Because when he is related with his mother or father, he becomes a son. When he is related with his son or daughter, he becomes a father. When he is related to his wife, he becomes a husband. When he is related to his sister or brother, he becomes a brother. So, similarly, with the particular kind of interaction, that antakarna gains a name. Okay, it's just a name, that's all. When it's doing a particular function, then it gets a name. Like what? Like there is intellect, there is mind. These are the two things which we have to concentrate upon. That's the only thing we need. Why? Because when the intellect is in association with the sense organ of knowledge, then that is called as vijñānamayakośaḥ. The next kosha we are going to see. When the mind is in association with the sense organ of knowledge, then that is called as a manomayakośaḥ. That's all. But then what about the ahaṃkāra and chitta? They are also included in the intellect and mind. The ahaṃkāra in the intellect. We merge the ahaṃkāra in the intellect and the chitta, the memory, in the mind. That's all. So, the antakarana, when it is associated with the sense organ of knowledge, gains two different states. One is a vijñānamaya, the other is a manomaya. But how can the same antakarana gain two different states? According to the function, I said. When there is a determined knowledge, then that is called as intellect. That determined knowledge in association with the sense organ of knowledge becomes a vijñānamayakośaḥ. And mind is when there is a doubtful knowledge, when there is doubt or when there is choice. When there are doubts or choice, then it is called as mind. When there is a doubtful or choice knowledge, then when it is in association with the sense organ of knowledge, that is called as manomayakośaḥ. We'll come to the manomayakośaḥ later. Okay, so this is the prelude to what we have to study now. That vijñānamayakośaḥ, this is what we have to study now. Okay, because we saw it in three different states. One is the sharira, the body, which is the causal body. Okay, for the causal body, the state is a deep sleep state. And the kosha, the sheath, is a ānandamayakośaḥ. Now, body, subtle body. For the subtle body, the state is a dream state. For the dream state, the koshas, the sheaths, are vijñānamaya, manomaya, and ānandamaya. All the three sheaths for the subtle body, right? So, that vijñānamaya is what we have to see now. So, he says, vijñānamaya. vijñānamayakośaḥ syāt buddhirjñānendriyaiḥ saha vijñānapracuratvenāpyācchādakatayātmanaḥ. Now, before that, I wanted to tell you something. That's why I shifted there. I came back again. See, this we are discussing about this creation aspect. Now, we have to understand also this ignorance is what is understood in two different ways, as maya and as avidya. They are both the same. They are both the same thing. They are not different. So he says, okay. So what is that? So when we spoke about the maya and avidya to be, they are seen as different, but they are the different sides of the same coin. We have to remember, because when we talk about the creation aspect, we need an Ishvara, because we cannot conceive things without a God. How did this creation come into existence? We though give an example of dream state, or like in the dream, we see different things manifesting, but we cannot conceive that idea. We cannot perceive the same idea in the waking state. So we need to accept an Ishvara. For that, we brought in the Maya and Avidya classifications. Otherwise, there is no difference between Maya and Avidya. Why? Because we are talking about the 5 sheaths from Maya. But where is the sheath of vijñānamaya, etc. possible in Ishvara? Where is the ignorance possible in Ishvara? So ignorance is the power for Ishvara, not the defect. So to understand that, he says, Ajnana tadavachinna abhasayo. Earlier he said in 327, Ajnana tadavachinna abhasayo ubhayoho api adharam shuddha chaitanya. Ignorance and whatever is the reflected consciousness in that ignorance, whether it is Ishvara or it is Jiva, whatever it is. For both of them, the substratum is a adharam shuddha chaitanya. Substratum is pure consciousness. That is what is called as turiya. But where did it say that Maya and Avidya are same? Yes, good question. So go to the previous shloka. What does it say? Satyapi upadi, satya upadi, sati upadhi, upadhyo abhinnatve, ko bhedah tad viśiṣṭayoho. Eki bhave tarangabdhyoho, ko bhedah pratibimbayoho. Upadhyoho abhinnatve sati. When the embodiments are not different, non-dual, they are identical. The Maya embodiment and the Avidya embodiment, they are identical. Then where is the difference in the reflected consciousness there? Where is the difference? There is no difference, absolutely. Okay. But then why Ishvara and Jiva? Then we will have to understand with an example. Again, to establish the creation, we gave a dream state. We didn't understand, so we have to accept a Ishvara. To understand the Ishvara to be not different from the Jiva, we have to explain through another example, which is a Eki bhave tarangabdhyoho ko bhedah pratibimbayoho. If the ocean and the waves are not different, are the waves and ocean different? No, they are identical. They are same. When the ocean and waves are same, identical, then how can the reflection in the ocean and in the wave be different? They are same. So the Jiva and Ishvara are, for all practical purposes, if you can say that. So for all the explanations, they are not different. That is what we have to understand. Okay. So vijñānamayakośaḥ. Now we come to the current situation where we were discussing about the vijñānamayakośaḥ. Okay, so before that, I didn't explain this in Tamil or in Hindi, but before that, I saw it the comment after the Tamil Hindi class. So the comment is regarding some antimatter. Who found that antimatter? This is an idea. Okay, any which way, the whole creation is an idea. So in that, whether it is matter or antimatter, it doesn't matter. We don't have to worry about whether it came from panchikarana or apanchikrita panchamahabhuta. If every element comes into existence only from the panchikrita panchamahabhuta, then the antimatter also is a matter. Matter or antimatter is a matter. It's a problem. Matter means problem. In Tamil, they say, what's a matter? Kind of, that's a problem. So that's the problem. It's a problem. So we have to understand that. Okay. So he says, vijñānam, coming to the current situation. So we don't have to worry about what antimatter and what matter is. They are an illusion. Why do you have to split the hairs there? Okay. So vijñānamayakośasya buddhirjñānendriyaiḥ vijñānapracuratvenāpyācchādakatayātmanaḥ vijñānamayakośo'yamiti vidvadbhirucyate. Vijñānamayakośaḥ syāt buddhirjñānendriyaiḥ vijñānapracuratvenāpyācchādakatayātmanaḥ vijñānamayakośaḥ ayaṃ iti vidvadbhirucyate. Beautiful. Vijñānendriyaiḥ Jnanendriyaiḥ saha buddhihi vijñānamayakośaḥ syāt. Simple equation is 5 sense organs of knowledge plus vijñāna, buddhi is called as vijñānamayakośaḥ. If you want, you can call it buddhimayakośaḥ, does not really matter. This is how it is known. Vijñānamayakośaḥ, this is how it is known. Therefore, we call it as vijñānamayakośaḥ. What is vijñānamayakośaḥ? 5 sense organs of knowledge plus intellect is vijñānamayakośaḥ. What is manomyakośaḥ? 5 sense organs of knowledge plus mind is manomyakośaḥ. Simple. Okay. Now, vijñānapracuratvenāpyācchādakatayātmanaḥ. Why is it called as vijñānamayakośaḥ? What is vijñāna? Vijñāna means experience. Vijñāna means viśiṣṭaṃ, special knowledge. But here in Vedanta, we accept vijñāna as experience. So this is the place where all the experience takes place, determined knowledge takes place. Therefore, vijñānapracura, mayat, this suffix is used for in the sense of prachura, abundance. So where there is abundance of knowledge, therefore it is called as vijñānamaya. Who says this? Vidvadbhirucyate, vidvans, the wise men, they say this. People who know about this vijñānamaya, they say this. Why? Why do they call it vijñānamaya? Because mahānahaṅkāravṛttimānkartṛlakṣaṇaḥ. It is not just because there is abundance of vijñāna, there is abundance of vijñāna knowledge there. Also because it's called as kosha. Why do you call it as kosha? Abundance of knowledge means it is something which is to be welcomed, right? No. Why? Because it also shields, veils the self. See, the self is covered first by the ignorance. Anandamaya-kośa. And that Anandamaya is covered by this Vijñānamaya. Since it is covering, it is veiling the self, it is called as kosha. Though it is Vijñāna, it is something to be welcomed. Knowledge is something to be welcomed, right? But still, since it has the nature of covering, veiling the self, we have to call it a vijñānamayakośaḥ. Okay, so there is nothing to be joyous about. It is not something to be welcomed about. Okay, so he says vijñānamayakośo'yamiti vidvadbhirucyate. This is why it is called as vijñānamayakośaḥ, not just vijñānamaya. Okay, very good. Ayaṃ mahānahaṅkāravṛttimānkartṛlakṣaṇaḥ sārvāsaṃsāranirvoḍhā vijñānamayaśabdabhāk. Ayaṃ mahānahaṅkāravṛttimānkartṛlakṣaṇaḥ sārvāsaṃsāranirvoḍhā vijñānamayaśabdabhāk. Vijñānamayaśabdabhāk, this one which is bhag, eligible for the name called vijñānamaya. This one which is referred to with the name called vijñānamaya. This one which is referred to by the name vijñānamaya, vijñānamayakośaḥ. mahānahaṅkāravṛttimān. This is mahānahaṅkāravṛttimān. This has a very great ego. The function of ego. mahānahaṅkāravṛttimān. Very great function of ego. Functionality of ego. kartṛlakṣaṇaḥ. Therefore, it is of the nature of doership, experiences, etc. If you say doership, there is implied existence of experiencership also. Because why do we do things? We do things because we want to experience. We do things because we want to experience. I see this stupidity among people who study Vedanta posting the stupid quotes. Today I saw a quote which said that, okay, it's okay. The words, what did it say? The words are in okay. So the words are, what did it say? 1 second. Yeah, words can inspire, thoughts can provoke, but only action truly brings us closer to dreams. People think this is something which is very important for Vedanta. But understand the words. Words can inspire, good. Thoughts can provoke, okay. But only actions truly bring us closer to our dream. We don't want dream. We don't want dream. Actions for Vedantins take us away from the self. Thoughts they don't provoke. They provoke, therefore they are also a problem. Only words, that too Vedantic words, they don't inspire, they give us the clarity. We have to understand that. So all these are beautiful words. They are just flowery words. They have no substance, absolutely. Okay. So we have to understand these kind of things. So he says, kartrutvalakshaṇaḥ. When you say karta, it has the doership. Why do you do? We want to experience. So there's experience implied. When we do things, we are interested in the experience. We don't do things without the expectancy of experience. We are not so pure. We have to remember that, right? So, sārvāsaṃsāranirvoḍhā. And this fellow is the one, this vijñānamayakośaḥ is the one who is a sārvāsaṃsāranirvoḍhā. He is the manager of all the samsara. Nirvoḍhā means nirvahita, one who manages the whole of samsara. This vijñānamaya is the one who manages the samsara. Okay? Now, ahaṃ mametyeva sadābhimānaṃ dehendriyādau kurute gṛhādau jīvābhimānaḥ puruṣo'yameva kartā ca bhoktā ca sukhī duḥkhī. Ahaṃ mametyeva sadābhimānaṃ dehendriyādau kurute gṛhādau jīvābhimānaḥ puruṣaḥ ayaṃ eva kartā ca bhoktā ca sukhī ca duḥkhī ca. He's made it very clear. Kartā ca bhoktā ca. Okay? Jīvābhimānaḥ, one who identifies himself to be jiva. I am a jiva. There is no problem actually. If you identify yourself to be a jiva, I don't care. There is no problem actually. What's the problem? People will ask. They won't come to Vedanta. If you say you are a jiva, no one is interested in Vedanta. Okay, so fine. You are a doer, kartā, you are a doer. So what? Okay. Bhoktā, you are experiencer also. That is exactly what I want. Why do you complain? Okay. Sukhī, oh stop, I don't want to study Vedanta. Why? I'm happy. Why do you complain about me being happy? Very good. So till this situation, I am a jiva, no issue. I am a doer, no issue. I am an experiencer, no issue. I am happy, no issue. No one wants to study Vedanta till then. Duḥkhī, you are also one who experiences sorrow. That is when there is sorrow, they run towards Vedanta, crying. Please. This is not the case of us. This is the case of even Maharishi. Narada Maharishi, he is called as Narada Maharishi. Narada Maharishi himself went to his brother, crying, Shokam param taretu, please help me to cross over the samsara of sorrow. The ocean of sorrow, he called sorrow. See, this is the difference. When you ask people, they say, I want to be liberated. I want to gain liberation, God knowledge, self-realization, all beautiful words without even understanding what they want. But Narada, with all the knowledges, he says, what have you studied? When he was asked, he says, I have studied everything, Rig Veda, Ayurveda, this, that. He enumerates, he didn't say, I have studied everything. He didn't say that. He said, I've studied that, I've studied this, also that, also this, also this, also this. Whatever is in the world, he has studied everything. He should have said, I have studied everything. No ego. He says, I have studied this, this, this. But still, I'm in deep sorrow. Please help me. I have heard from people like you that they realized one cross over the ocean of samsara, of sorrow. Please help me. Shokam param taretu. Please help me to cross over the ocean of sorrow. Please. So, duḥkhī, that is when everyone runs to Vedanta. If at all they understand what they want. Okay? Now, ayameva purusha. This is the purusha. Now, understand. Purusha is a word used for, in this sense, used for jiva. See, atma is a word which is oft, I keep repeating this, it is oft abused word. It's often abused word, atma. When you say atma, what does atma mean? Atma can mean the self. Atma can also mean the slipper or your car or anything in the world. Mama atma devadatta. This devadatta is my soul, soulmate, all that they used to say, right? So they call everything atma. Oh, when you buy a new phone, that becomes yourself. Something happens to that, your heart breaks, right? So everything in the world can be referred to with the names Atma. Similarly, Purusha. Okay, so he says Purusha. Ayameva Purusha. This person, this vijñānamayakośaḥ is referred to as Purusha here. Okay, this Purusha, this vijñānamayakośaḥ, dehendriyādau, gṛhādau cha ahaṃ mametyeva kurute. He identifies himself with the body sense organ complex or the house, etc., in the sense of I and mine. He does not bring in the idea of I or mine with respect to things, because there is a confusion. We think, okay, I in body, mine in the sense organs, or I in the sense organs, or I and mine in the sense organs. That is how we normally explain. And mine in the, with respect to the world, whatever the objects, cat, dog, etc. But that's not how it is. There's a whole lot of confusion. It is not simple. If we explain, we can say in the body he refers to as I. With the sense organ, there is I and mine. With respect to the cat, dog, etc., there is only mine. But not true. I, when he refers to his body, he says, I went there. And with respect to the same body, he says, my body is paining. My health is not good. My body is not in a proper condition. He refers to his body as mine. Right? So there is a confusion with body. With sense organs, again the same thing. Confusion. I, mine. My eyesight is not proper. I am seeing, etc. Okay. With respect to the dog, cat, your car, house, etc., we have both the ideas of my and I. It should be mine actually, but it doesn't restrict itself to mine. Something happens to the dog or cat, something happens to your car, and something happens to your new phone, then you are hurt. Something is bad there, something is a problem there, you feel yourself to be in problem. That is the identification. So this identification is not fixed. It is wherever you have to see it as I, you see it as mine. Wherever you see it as mine, you have see it as I. In fact, the I itself is a problem there with respect to the body sense organ complex. They don't belong to the I only the self. But with all these issues, he says, gṛhādau ahaṃ mama iti cha abhimanam kurute. He sees I and mine, this kind of identification. He has this in the body sense organ complex and the other things. Now, why does he have this identification? That should be understood. So he says, svavāsanāprerita eva nityaṃ karoti karmobhayalakṣaṇaṃ cha bhuṅkte tadutpannaphalaṃ viśiṣṭaṃ sukhāṃ cha duḥkhaṃ cha parattrachātra. So vāsanāprerita eva nityaṃ karoti karma ubhayalakṣaṇaṃ cha bhuṅkte tadutpannaphalaṃ viśiṣṭaṃ sukhāṃ cha duḥkhaṃ cha parattrachātra. So vāsanāprerita. Svavāsana, once vasana. Vasana means smell, fragrance. Here vasana means imprints, thought imprints. Samskara, vasana, samskara, they are all synonyms. So prerita means prodded, encouraged. Encouraged by one's own thought imprints. Encouraged by one's own thought imprints. What does he do? Nityaṃ, always, ubhayalakṣaṇaṃ, both kinds of action, which is a karma, both kind of action, which is a good and bad actions, satkarma and asatkarma. We should not think about actions. Oh, two types of action, through the sense organ of knowledge and sense organ of action. No, we are not talking about that. Two types of karma he performs, which is a good karma and bad karma, punya karma and papa karma. How do you know that? Because later he says, tadutpannaphalaṃ viśiṣṭaṃ. He also experiences the result which is gained through those karmas, good and bad. What are they? Good karma begets good results. Bad karma begets bad results. Therefore, he says, sukhāṃ cha duḥkhaṃ cha. He experiences the happiness and sorrow, respectively. Through good karma, happiness. Through bad karma, sorrow. Right? So, now, so vāsanāprerita. The karma is performed because of the thought imprint, encouraged by thought imprint, prodded by the thought imprint. That is the important part. So I am doing good karma or bad karma, that is because of my thought imprint. And where did this thought imprint come from? From the previous birth. And the karmas of the previous birth. Where did the karmas of the previous birth come into? That is because of the thought imprints of the previous birth to the previous birth. So, okay, when the creation first started, there is no thought imprint. That is stupid idea. We don't prescribe to that idea. Why? Because when the creation first started, like we are seeing now, there was already a thought imprint of the previous creation. There was never an absence of thought imprint. What is this thought imprint? We have to understand this. Previously, I used to give an example of a ticket booking counter. When you go to a railway station ticket booking counter, there is a small, it's not called computer, it's called as node. Since I am accustomed to these words, I used that example. And it was little difficult for people to understand. But still, I'll explain that, and I'll explain in an easy way. So there is this node. It's not a computer, it does not have anything. So you ask about a particular train to a particular station, if there is availability of tickets, etc., it will bring it from the mainframe computer. All the data from the mainframe computer. Temporarily, it will store it in its computer and it will display it. This is too complicated an idea. Forget about that. A simple example is, you have a cell phone. Everyone understands this example now. You have a cell phone. The cell phone does not have any information of itself. I want to read a newspaper. It takes it from the server, wherever it is, to your cell phone. You want to book a ticket, whatever data you need come from a server somewhere. So whatever karmas you perform, they are registered in the server. Whatever you type, they are registered in the server, right? So similarly, whatever karmas you perform, it is registered in the server of Ishvara. Ishvara takes care of it. And accordingly, whatever output you need, like when you ask, what is this? The server provides you with the detail. Similarly, when you put this karma, according to the karma, there is a package which is created, which is sent to you as the package called prarabdha, which becomes the base for the next birth. He becomes the registry. He takes care of the register. That's why we have employed a person called Chitragupta, who manages all the accounts. Okay. Now, this is when you want to accept the Ishvara. If you don't want to accept Ishvara, fine. We don't need Maya. We just stick to our avidya. So, whatever karmas you perform, their seeds are registered in the subtle body, linga sharira. There is a mind and there is intellect, right? So there is all the registry of that in the linga sharira. So whenever you need whatever karma, according to that, it will, because karma has its own logic. Even Ishvara cannot control it. So the karma delivers a package called prarabdha. Okay? So that is why he says svavāsanāprerita, prodded by his vasana, triggered, encouraged by his vasana, he performs both good and bad actions and therefore experiences good and bad results. Oh, good. Why are you happy about this? Because I can just say, whatever I am doing, it is not because of me, it is because of vasana. No, that is not an excuse. You cannot excuse like that. Say an excuse like that. Why? Because you have vidhi, which is the fate, but you also have a free will, mati, buddhi. So you have to use your mati to gain victory over the vidhi. So that is what he says, viśiṣṭaṃ sukham duḥkhaṃ ca. So karma ca viśiṣṭaṃ sukham duḥkhaṃ ca. They experience the good and bad karmas results. See, to understand this, we have to go to Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, Duryodhana, at the end, when he was asked, when he did all the bad deeds and all that, he was asked, why did you do? Wait. Why did you bring Duryodhana? Don't you see any character in Mahabharata? Any character in Mahabharata Mahabharata is an encyclopedia of psychology. Any character, there is no, because when I say Duryodhana, what your idea is, oh, Duryodhana is a villain. Why are you explaining it with a villain? There is no villain hero in Mahabharata or Ramayana. No. If you thought it is villain hero, it is David versus Goliath, it's a stupid idea. It's all because of that idea you are seeing David versus Goliath here. There is no David versus Goliath here in our tradition. Everyone, there is no one who is good or there is no one who is bad. Every situation, everyone does good or bad. Say, okay, Yudhishthira, you will accept him to be good because Krishna supported him. Therefore, Yudhishthira is good. Pandava, there is one of the Pandavas, head of the Pandavas, elder one of the Pandavas, right? But a good person, how can he play gambling and that to gamble his own wife? He gambled his kingdom. That is a different thing. But he gambled his own wife. How can a good person do it? No. And Duryodhana, though he is such a he is a villain kind of character which you have imagined, he respected Karna so much. Karna was not accepted to be a Kshatriya even, but he still respected him and gave him importance. Who gives importance to that kind of person? So there is no good or bad. Even in Ramayana, you think Rama is the hero and Ravana is the villain. That is all your problem. If you are going to ask, then we can say, oh, Rama also killed Vali by hiding behind the tree. It's not the act of Kshatriya. Or Rama gave up his wife because people were talking bad. That's not a manly deed, right? But he did it. We can give explanations. He did because of these reasons. Similarly, we could have given explanations for Ravana also. Ravana is a great devotee of Shiva. He is the only demon king who is referred to as Ravaneshwara. No one is called as Ishvara, but he is called as Ishvara. If you want to know more about Ravana, you should have to read Adhyatma Ramayana to know about his greatness. He is a Trikalajnani. He knows all the 3 periods of time. He is a realist one. That kind of great person he is. If you are going to give explanations to Rama, then we can give explanations to Ravana also. Ravana did what he did because his sister was hurt and he loved his sister. Family first. I can give an explanation also. So there is no bad or good here. Situations, that's all. You see the situation. Don't be judgmental. That is what is the Shastras teaching us. So he says, according to your karma, you perform. According to Ravana, when Duryodhana was asked, he says, Janapi dharmam nachame pravrittihi. Janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. Kenapi devena hrudistitena yatha niyojati tatha karomi. He says, I know what is dharma. Then why didn't you do? But I cannot do. I know what is adharma, what is wrong, but I cannot abstain myself from doing it. Restrain myself from doing it. Why? Kenapi devena hrudistena, because some great soul, the Ishvara sitting in my heart, whatever way he guides me, I'm performing that. I'm just doing whatever he orders me to do. That's all. That's the understanding which Duryodhana had, which he explains during his deathbed. So, viśiṣṭaṃ sukhāṃ ca duḥkhaṃ ca. He experienced the sorrow and happiness. This is the important thing. Where does he experience? Atra ca, paratra ca. Atra ca, amutra ca. Paratra, amutra, they are synonyms. Here and hereafter, in other words. So, the karmas don't end here. It follows you till the end. Till the end means till the liberation. That's what he says. Here or hereafter, he experienced bhuṅkte. If you are a doer, you have to compulsorily be an experiencer. There is no choice. I'm just a doer, not an experiencer. That cannot be excuse. You have to be an experiencer if you are a doer. If you identify yourself as a doer, you have to identify yourself as an experiencer. There is no escape. Okay? I just do. I don't want to be experiencer. That is impossible because you have to go to heaven or hell and experience good or bad things there. So he says, okay, Now we'll see this. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Viśiṣṭate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.